Hello everybody, my name is Reshmika Ramesh. I would like to thank Truman for that introduction. And when I was first asked to do this TED Talk, I thought long and hard about how I should start this speech today. I thought, what better way than to bore you with my life story? So these are my parents. They immigrated from India in 1998. And about a year later, I was born. I think this was the happiest year of my parents' life, if I do say so myself. And a little bit after that, we moved to a city called Moore Park, where I spent 16 years of my life to this day. A little bit after that, my little brother was born. And for any of the other oldest siblings in the family, you know that once your youngest sibling is born, you don't really get to get away with anything anymore, and they get everything in the house. So after that, I kind of made my way through middle school, and then I started high school. And I think a lot of you guys remember needing to complete a certain amount of community service hours in order to graduate. Well, I really wanted to graduate. So when one of my friends asked me to come volunteer at the local food pantry, I went along. And here's where my perspective of life kind of changed completely. Now, living in the nice suburban community of Moore Park, it was really hard to imagine that people were living below the poverty line. But that day, I saw so many familiar faces standing in that line, waiting for their daily share of food. This is my grandfather. I never really got to meet him, so I only know him from this picture. He was born in a small town called Sularpat in India, and as soon as he was born, his father passed away, and his mother raised him by cleaning homes. So things weren't really looking out that great for him from the start. But he worked hard, and he kept a positive mindset, and he became this business magnate who had millions of different ventures, and he also owned 100 acres of the same land that he once worked on. And he lived by this philosophy, and this philosophy was quite simple. It was to give back to the people around you and not expect anything back in return, because someday when you're the one in need, somebody will be there to help you. Now, back at the food pantry, all that I really received for all the work that I did was a smile and a thank you. But I think that the smile and the thank you really sat deep with me. It gave me this addiction, an addiction that would only be satisfied by helping out more in my community. And from there, I ventured out and I started volunteering for other community service organizations. And I started spreading this message that the youth really have the power to make a difference in their community. They have the power to come up with a solution to a problem that they see. And they have the power to really give the community what it needs. Now I ask you to take a moment and ask yourself, what motivates you? I belong to a generation called the why bother generation, a generation that national surveys have labeled us as lazy, unmotivated, slacking, and uninterested. That really hurts. But I don't really think that we're the unmotivated generation, but that we're the generation motivated by the wrong things. I'm sure a lot of us grew up around this idea of success. A mortgage to a 2-story home in a nice neighborhood, a couple of cars, and this is going to make us happy. So by this formula, let's take a look at the happiest people in our nation, the top 1%. People who own nice homes in Malibu, a couple of Lamborghinis, boatlers, maids. I mean, who in this room wouldn't want to live that lifestyle? Now, these people are supposed to be happy, right, by this formula, but these people also give back to their community. They give back to their community generously. And I think the reason for that is that we really need to see what makes us feel that well, what makes us feel like we're giving something back. And I think life really boils down to this one quote by Winston Churchill, and it says, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." So a lot of us remember the first part of this quote, and that is to make a living by what we get. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all need to survive. We all have this inherently wired to us to get food, to get shelter, to make survival. But we often forget the second part of this quote, and that is to make a life by what we give. Now, if you look back at your own goals, you might just find that you're missing out on this part. And a lot of people think they have to be at a certain social status, a certain wealth to give back to their community. But I remember hearing this story, and it's about a homeless man who would actually give money away to passerbys who are going by him. And a lot of people felt appalled and insulted by this idea, that someone from the lowest depths of society would be giving them money. but he responded by saying that giving money to other people made him feel wealthy for the day. And I think that this is a wealth that we should be motivated by. This is a wealth that sits deeper than just materialistic things. Now I ask you to go into your communities, to find a problem that you're passionate about and to create a solution to that problem. Or just participate in a community service project that's already going around in your community. Because someday when you're the one in need, you're going to wish that that person was there to help you. And I guarantee that if you put out this positive energy into the universe will help you when you're the one in need. And I thank you for being a wonderful audience, and to all the organizers today for giving me this opportunity.